Yeah, and so I would like to, have a goal to pass a plan next month. Both because this was the main critique of our audit, is that we don't have long-term financial planning. And also that we have, sitting in fund balance, relative to the size of our town, we have, a lot of cash on hand, and yet, already proposed a plan last year, I think it was February, and we didn't act on it. I think for a lot of good reasons, but now it's time we don't have to accept the plan that is presented to us, as is. We certainly can, provide input but we do need a plan.
I'm so happy we have
Sam,
time to study this. This is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seeing we're talking about a plan here, would we be wise to earmark a fairly good, considerable sized chunk of money for a salt shed, that we all of a sudden may get this thrown in our lap, that we'll be forced to build a salt shed? Should we try to prepare for this ahead of time?
There is grant money that you can apply for that, I think.
Yeah, but I'm afraid if grant monies, if all of a sudden the state says you will,
Well,
there won't be a lot of grant monies go around. I mean, we'll be
Corey
left in the
says that
dust.
it's open, speaking of that. Betty, do you want to spearhead that? Because we all have multiple projects going. Do you want to spearhead the grant for the salt shed with Corey?
I can.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
That'd be great. We'll put
or
you down.
like I said, could we earmark some monies just to be set aside for that purpose only, so that if this comes at us, we've at least semi-prepared for it?
If you want, I can help you with writing a written grant.
There are two ways that we can take care of the fund balance and unrestricted fund balance, which the state is concerned about. One is we set up a capital reserve specifically for a purpose. So if we set up a reserve specifically for a salt shed, we would then, introduce it. It would be open to petitioning for referendum, and if there's petitioning process, there could be a vote on whether or not we move it. And then that money would have to be spent on the salt shed. So if, say, the town hall fell over and we need a new town hall, or whatever. If something else happened and we needed that money, we couldn't use it. We would have to use it for the salt shed. We could otherwise set up a general reserve fund, which would not require a referendum process until we decide to use it. So we set aside, we say, hey, look, we have this money. We know that as a town, there could be a year where a $500,000 expenditure could come up, or 350, whatever it is, and we decide, okay, we're going to put this away for a rainy day, whatever rainy day it is, and then when we decide to spend it, we have to that would go through the potential referendum process, and we don't necessarily have to do either. If we don't do either, it's certainly it's at risk to be pilfered by an unscrupulous town council. There's very little protection for it. On the other hand, if we do go the reserve process, and I think the state likes to see that because it is some protection, then there's less, like right now, tonight for the paving, we're gonna have to appropriate from fund balance. If we buy, in these years that we buy a plow truck, those are large dollar items that we would appropriate from fund balance. It gives us a lot less flexibility. So I don't know if there's a right answer here, but there's a lot to think about.
There was a highway equipment fund set up in the past.
Well, there's money in highway. Isn't there like 125,000 or something in highway?
In the budget, it's budgeted.
But it's fund balance. It's balanced, correct?
It's like in any budget, we may use some portion of fund balance, but once you set the capital reserve aside, you can't use it anymore.
I
So
understand.
right now we have a large fund balance. If we decide next year this year we put $0 in our, equipment line, right? Because we would have had to go into fund balance and we just decided, all right, fine, we'll make that decision when we come to it. Say we wanna do next year, the plow truck, 250,000. We'll see what the budgeting process looks like and what taxes, the assessment values are, but we may have to appropriate that from fund balance. If it's in a reserve, we can't do it.
Right.
Or you would have to go through the reserve process.
So I guess we should have, this is good, we have a capital plan for highway, and we should probably come up with some sort of needs assessment for general and say, hey, in the out years, this is what we need to do.
Mhm.
And then we can take that, we can take those two plans and see what we have against our fund, our general
Exactly.
fund, and then say, hey, priority A, B, and C, and should any of this be put away in a reserve?
Exactly.
So maybe we should come to the next meeting with some ideas of what you think a priority list is, and then work on a plan. I mean, that's what I would have done in, right?
I wasn't here last month, but did you ever receive a report from the state auditors that were by? So that was gonna be a context, as I recall, for making certain
It's not,
changes.
a kindness that they exercise is that they give us all of this feedback on things that we need to correct, and then they give us time to correct them
Oh,
before they do the written report. So,
oh. That's,
so it would be good to
that's
get
an
this done.
interesting sequence of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not like we're doing anything illegal, or it's
No.
just that
No.
something could be,
No, but
they offer us a chance to.
as I recall, it was like in a planning context, when the report comes back, then we'll be able to plan better.
Yeah, no, they gave us this feedback, and so it's good, it's an opportunity for us to act on it, before something in writing goes out. Okay, that's all I have. Council members,
Do you need this back? You don't need that back? You need that back,
I
Bill?
do, you've got the other copy, right?
Yeah, I have the other copy.
Thank you.
Don't want to lose it on him.
Currently, as you know, I've been working on the electrical project. Been meeting with a planner from National Grid, this pole, concerning the pole and so forth, so I'm in the process for that. Heating, we've got the bid taken care of for the heating. Roofing, I have 3 estimates for the roofing. I've got a photocopy for everyone here.
Thank you.
So Neil, just to back you up for a second. So we have a winning electrical bid and a choice we made.
Hazard electric,
Okay, so Hazard's got the electric bid.
yes, that's correct.
And we're just waiting, just to back up, because I've been following you on this drama.
Yeah, it's
We're waiting for the pole to get replaced
correct.
in its, either in its position or in a slightly new position.
Correct.
To get that done.
Correct.
Okay, so that's, could be any day.
Any day, or, I don't
It
know.
could be 2
I can't
weeks, it
tell
could be
you.
any day,
I
it could
can't
be
give you the
tomorrow, it
answer.
could be 2 weeks, but the pole's gonna be replaced, and then they're gonna go ahead. And then we have a winning bid that we spoke about 2 months ago for the heating and
For
air
the heating,
conditioning.
yes.
Okay.
And, that was with,
can I just ask Joseph, while you're here, what is your understanding of the problem in that room?
Of the ceiling leaking?
Yeah,
I think it's the drain.
it's not the roof.
Well, the way the roof is integrated in, the drain's integrated into the roof. I've never been up there, I don't know. but-
Okay.
And it seems to be when the wind blows hard,
Okay,
and when it's raining, and then the wind is blowing, that's when we get the water. It's just a hard, straight down rain with no wind, it doesn't seem to leak, but when you
Mhm.
get, that sideways wind or whatever, then that's when it.
have we
that's when-
had anybody up there while you're here?
When I was working here one day, there was a guy from Corel Roofing, I heard him walking around up there.
yeah,
Uh,
We have a flat roof, and unfortunately with flat roofs,
They always leak eventually.
They leak eventually, and they don't have a huge lifespan
Right.
before they have to be, is this rubber? Did they say, do we currently have a rubber roof?
It's
Yeah.
not.
That's what I said.
I
thought
think
it was
so.
rubber.
I was told it was rubber.
Yes, that's what I've been told. I don't know, I haven't been up there, and I'm not a roofer, so I can't say, I don't know.
Do they have it on the bid there? Do they have on there to
Yeah.
replace a rubber roof or whatever?
Yeah,
It just says removal of existing roofing.
Oh, it doesn't say what
no,
kind.
it says put down new rubber.
Yeah, but it doesn't say what's on there right now.
Well, the word new might,
I thought somebody told me it was a rubber roof.
Because we have a parapet wall and it's flat or slightly pitched to that with interior drains, more than likely, it's probably rubber. But they've changed the type of rubber roofs over the years, so the new roofs are way better and hopefully will stop the leak. And I'm looking to see if they do, okay, so they would re-flash all the drains and curbs, install one retrofit drain, probably over the judge's roof. And they want to do a steel drip edge.
Finish with a drip edge.
Can we just
20-year rubber.
submit for this? Why don't we just submit for this,
What's that?
the roofing?
Oh,
but if it covers the whole building, that would.
yeah, I don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Would it be
Actually,
okay?
the court's in the building, so,
Oh,
yeah.
Well, especially we're gonna move them out to more square
Yeah,
footage,
he'll
so
be
it's
out
gonna
there
cover
in
more
this area.
square footage. so.
As,
I could try.
as you see, you have three bids in front of you. I put them in the least expensive first and the most expensive last. So it's the order I have put them in.
13,
And these are all the prevailing rate, by the way. I had each contractor state that, so there'll be no issue there. And if you look at Corral, he's got one at non-prevailing, and then below that is his number at prevailing rate.
That's the 16,000?
Yes, 16,850, that's correct.
And then we throw in for painting, moving,
a new bench
and a new bench. Removal of this,
and a ramp. What should get us to
gets
30?
30.
Yeah.
Good work on this, Neil, by the way.
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
Just, what do we wanna do? That's what I'm asking.
Well, and
What
I
are
like the
What are the
way,
bids total so I can put them down?
Okay. For the,
You can have it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, there you go, Linda.
and there is an option here, if we wanna do a pitch standing seam roof and get rid of the flat metal,
But at that time, it's been suggested to me that we have an engineer here
to look at
make
that.
sure that this building will support that weight. And seeing it as.
But it's not, we're building a second floor, but I
No,
bet you
no,
if you
no,
checked an
no.
engineer, that he would probably say that there's no additional
Well,
snow
well,
load,
you
but.
have to know for sure.
I
We'd
don't
have
want
to
to
know
leave
for sure,
the
but we
town
can-
exposed to any liability.
No, what I'm saying is we could explore that option if you want.
That's up to the board's
I
discretion.
mean, there is bids for the pitched roof, so, which is nice. We wouldn't have a leak over the judge's old office, so, which would be Linda's new office.
Well, we could move the leak.
We can move the leak if he wants to
No,
feel
we're
at
not
home.
moving the leak, we're gonna eliminate the leak.
So we'll meet July 11th. We'll include this bed. We'll
Okay.
figure out what else we got, get something in, and hopefully can move forward pretty quickly.
And with BTU, he was the low bid on the, AC heating.
Who was it? I didn't have,
That
I
was
never had
BTU.
that. BTU?
So I take number right off that.
Yeah, and that was 6,500,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
That includes air conditioning, so
That
everyone
includes the
who's
air
sweating
conditioning.
today will not be sweating.
I like it Vegas.
And Hazard's electrical bid was what?
Okay, hazard, I believe I got hazard.
I don't think I have any of these
Okay, just
totals
a-
on
hold
any
on.
minutes.
Hold on just a second. There's the electricians,
Just read me off on,
there it is. He's, 3,000.
3955.
This hazard,
9,
that's
5,
the lowest bid.
okay. All right, got it.
And as I said, we're just waiting for this pole issue so the hazards can get in here to do their job.
Great, thank you so much, Neil.
You're welcome. And I do have painting estimates. I figured we'd get this, let's get the essentials done first.
And so the painting estimates can go into that.
The painting should come after all the work, right?
After all the work, oh yeah, certainly.
Right, but just for our application, they'll need the estimates.
I can bring
So we'll
those
do
along too.
Roof,
Yeah.
painting, bench.
Do we need any special kind of glass for the window in there, in that room?
They recommend bulletproof glass, but they recommend a lot of things that we don't have.
We actually got an estimate to have, because when we were thinking of giving Linda a new window, we were gonna give, Nate came up with the Lexan bulletproof, and we have his estimate. We also have his estimate for a door, if we do wanna put in a door to secure, and we have an estimate for a ramp, so we should be in good shape.
All right, any other council remarks?
Yes, I just want to say congratulations to Justin Tice on his open house at his new facility.
Yes.
He had a raffle or whatever that day, and I want to thank him for donating the proceeds that he had left over to the Kinder Jury Youth Center.
Oh, that's
He
great.
was real generous, so, real generous. So then I'll wait to speak to the roofer that, till we get going a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mr. Soiree.
So we had, last month I asked, and I would thank Art, because he came down for an hour and a half, opened the garage. We scrambled down here, I took every chair Linda had, and we went up and we had a meeting talking about right to farm law, ag protection plan, agriculture, economic development, food hubs. And the input was great, because we found out three things. Access to markets is a huge thing. Regulations is a huge problem. Traffic came up as a huge problem, that there's been a lot of traffic issues, a lot of near misses with buggies, wagons, tractors, equipment, and this is not just from the Amish talking, it's from the English. And there's been a lot of complaints and a lot of problems with traffic, and maybe we could do something about that. And the way they go down our road is crazy some days, especially at 5 a.m. I don't know why they pick 5 a.m. to come flying down, but on their way to the yogurt plant, I think. And we talked about food hub. We had a representative from the state there, John Brennan, who's going to help us. The town is doing, the county is doing a new agricultural protection plan. Within that, they recommend each town launch a right to farm law. Linda and I went down back, and we can't find a right to farm law record. Richard Kennedy thought we had passed one way back when, but no. And what they recommend is a right to farm law at the local level, so if there's issues, we have local control through Cliff and a number of people locally. Also, when people transfer properties, that they actually sign a document that they understand they're moving into a right to farm town. So when they come from the city and buy a piece of property, that they're not like saying, why are there are animal smells and all this and that. So I mean, well, it's, you know what?
I know.
People have been sued in other towns
In-
because of this. and been
In
forced.
Austin, where I went to grad school, they would incorporate farms, and then they would tell them they couldn't farm anymore, so.
The beautiful part of this is that the state will give us money to enact our right to farm law and a sample law for us to go give the planning board to pass. So that was really good news, so it's not going to cost money out of our pockets. The other thing is that the people from the county that are working on the new agricultural protection plan had only interviewed 11 people in the entire county, and they got to speak to over 25 farmers in our town in one place. So we have a really good voice of what's going on, and hopefully they'll listen and we'll see what the ag protection plan is. So I thought it was great. Again, thanks everyone who came. Betty came, Neil came, and Art, a special thanks to him for opening up the town barn, because we had a lot of buggies out there and a lot of horses in the parking lot. So that it went well. we'll know in another month or two, we'll get to see a sample of the plan, okay, before we can sign on to it. So that was big, and I thank all of you for indulging me to put that on, have our town host that. And then I just would like to just remind us, we have the bids still, well, you have it down here, the bids for the paving, so. And I do have one more thing. I spoke to Greco. They had turned their old auto parts place into locked storage. He will give us a place if we want to move this truck body, all the records in the truck body, up there for $60 a month. We can have record storage inside, dry record storage. And if we're going to pave the parking lot, we want to move that thing anyway. But he can do that on a short-term basis, so we have dry record storage. I think we should probably just, for the $700 for a year, we should just go do it and get it done. So it's secure, double locked. He said we can have access to put a folding table out there in front of the unit if we need to dig something out, but I think it would be a no-brainer at this time.
Where is the location?
Up in
Up in
Dutchtown
Napa.
Plaza at the
Oh,
Napa.
very good.
He turned one section of that into
Right.
locked storage units.
Very good.
Okay, and I'm just thinking that it would be way better than the leaky trailer rat
Way better than the
infested-
trailer
yes.
we have, but
Short-term solution until we figure out what's going on.
for short term.
I'd like to put that up. I'll put that up for a motion later.
We can always just go to Palatine Bridge too. They said we could do that.
Whatever, I just think we should make a move
We
to
should
it,
make some kind of a move, I think.
especially if we're paving the lot.
Yeah.
But that's just a temporary.
Well, you know what? If this electronic things go, why are we gonna spend money if someone else is gonna spend our money?
I think you still have to have hard copy records, though, right, for 15 years?
Oh, you'd have to,
Isn't-
yes, you would have
Some
to
have
retain
to
them,
be,
yeah.
But they
some
have
have
a
to be
count,
hard
they're,
copy.
they're working on a paper and electronic record storage area in this plan. So why would we spend money now, not knowing what's gonna happen then? I mean, it would be folly for us to spend a lot of dollars fixing up our building, because if one day we ever sell it, we can't have a broken down building, which should have been done a long time ago, but why would we spend money on records right now if they're gonna have this, if this plan makes it in the next 24 months, 36 months?
Yeah, just be a temporary solution
Yeah.
for right
Now,
now.
$700 is way easier, because I know the price to do records is like 30 grand. So why would we do it if they're gonna do it? It would be irresponsible of us to spend the taxpayers' money.
Any other council comments?
I just want to say also, the Village of Palatine Bridge, Jim Post, a big thank you to Barb Millington, everybody that was involved in the 150-year anniversary or birthday celebration. There's a lot of positive comments about it for a small community. They had a lot going on, and I attended a lot of the events. Neil was there, Mr. Winsman, Paul Dahl, there's just about most people in this room. It was great to support them and be out and about in the public.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I just want to say to Chris, concerning, I'm not a farmer, I don't pretend to be, don't know the first thing about it, but I think your organization of that meeting and the input and insight that we gained from that meeting, to me, was very helpful to understand some of the dilemma that faces the area farmer. Thank you. And I'll say the experts that came and made some statements opened my eyes to a lot of issues. And I feel agriculture is our #1 industry in this community, and we better preserve it.
I also think maybe there should be another one or more in the future, because there was a lot of people that didn't know about it, that weren't able to attend, and, I wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't stopped in there, the
I
same
sent
night.
you, yeah.
But like I told Sarah, since the month's
Oh,
storm, my
okay,
emails
all right,
and
yeah,
stuff.
I didn't know that.
Well, we did have it posted, and I did actually drive around and hand them the
Yes,
farmers.
I handed
Posted
some
on
out,
all the
too.
milk houses too,
Yep, so I did the same.
but yes, it was great.
Any other comments?